Hey cats, it's your midsole man here, eddbud. Today a running news episode which is predominantly new releases. We've had a pretty dry January, but now February is here. They've turned on the taps and we've got loads and loads of new pairs incoming. Let's get straight into it and waste no time. Thanks for joining me on the channel, it is always appreciated. Please do hit that subscribe button if you've not done so already. Also give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies. Drop us a super thanks as well if you want to support the channel on a more ad hoc basis. Right, into the running news releases. And I try and do this one quick fire because there's so much stuff coming out, it's just unreal. Round about the end of February, Nike are dropping the Vomero 18 over here in the UK. I think it's like the 27th or 28th of February, so, you know, put it in your phone or something. I guess they're giving a little bit of time for wallets to expand out again after the release of the Pegasus Premium recently. So the Vomero 18 has got 46mm of heel stack, and they report round about 36mm in the forefoot. So it's like a 10mm drop shoe with a massive stack. So that's either going to be right up your street or not. I think they're trying to make a high cushion Max shoe, which is closer to something like Brooks's Glycerin Max or perhaps the Super Blast 2. I think at this point with that type of stack, it's either going to put Vomero long-term users off. I mean, do we really need all of that stack? I mean, that comes from a guy that is 6'3", who's currently wearing a pair of Adidas 9s. I really like these, nice low stack, responsive foam. I mean, it's a world away from what this Vomero 18 is going to be. I hear from my sources that the Zoom X section as well is just a thin layer on the top of a big load of React X, so that's either going to be, again, right up your street. I mean, in this case, I'm just not sure I need all that sort of React X underfoot. It's not like it's a bad foam, but it's certainly not one of the best. I mean, was this not catered for within the Infinity Run series? I know they've killed off that model this year, as well as the Invincible Run as well, which had a lot of fans. I think the Vomero's got the famous name, hasn't it? It's got some prestige there within the Nike running shoe lineup. And as such, they're kind of continuing with that one into 2025, along with the Pegasus series and the Structure. I think Nike trying to use their old, reliable, old faithful sort of brand shoes to try and get back a bit of market share from those plucky new manufacturers. Either way, you'll be able to check out the Vomero 18 come the end of February. Let's hope they don't leave it so long before the next refresh. It just seems like ages since the Vomero 17 came out. Another big anticipated release. I think many people will be excited about this one. From the three-stripe brand Adidas is the Boston 13. I really like the 12, had a great responsive feel, a lower weight from the previous iterations, and a banging outsole. The 13 looks set to improve on all of that with a little bit more padding around the ankle there and the heel area. It was quite minimal in the last iteration, did cause a little irritation. See what I did there? There's now even more Light Strike Pro through into the forefoot. Light Strike 2.0 in the heel section for a slightly firmer, stable ride there. Of course, we've got the Energy Rods 2.0 as well, and they're kind of exposed in certain places there, perhaps Adidas trying to show off the tech a bit more. An interesting observation here in the heel area on the medial side, you can see that it says 36mm. That's lower than the last version. So perhaps they're trying to differentiate between the Boston 13 and the Evo SL, which has got a little bit more stack. Yeah, it's coming in a bit cheaper there than the Boston, and of course that doesn't have the energy rods or the light traction outsole, which is turning out to be an absolute winner. The two shoes very different there. The Evo SL keeping with the rubber setup that we had in the Adidas Pro 3, and the Boston 13 is mimicking the setup that we've got in the Adi Zero range as per the Adidas 9 and the Adidas Pro 4. light traction rubber there found on the outsole in that new Boston 13, with slightly more minimal foam cutouts than we've had previously. Now, this one's coming up at about $160 in the US. I don't think that Adidas will move too much from the 140. I think they're going to provide some real competition for Nike's Zoomfly 6 here. You know, a plated or at least, you know, midsole additive sort of shoe, ideal for that sort of faster training. Let's just hope though that the Boston 13 doesn't come in too much heavier than it was last time out. The Zoomfly 6 really sits in a very attractive zone in terms of weight and price. Good news if you do like the Boston 12 though, because all the retailers have started discounting their remaining stock. I've seen pairs as low as about 80 quid, so do keep your eyes peeled. Though you'll need to have a particular foot size and no expectation of colourway to get that deal. I'll be in for a pair of the Boston 13s when they do finally drop here in the UK. Adidas never send me any shoes, so I'll pay out some Earth credits and pick up a pair for testing for my viewers. Talking of Adidas, they show no sign of letting up on the Adidas Pro 4 colourways. I reckon they're going for their own record that they had with the Adidas Pro 3. There were literally, I don't know, 30 odd colourways of that shoe. They've been smashing out new colourways of the hit Adidas Pro 4. There's a fluorescent lucid lemon here, which is really stand out. The odd half and half black and white colourway as well, all black upper, which appears to be a partly black and white midsole. Just feels a bit mismatched, that one. I don't feel that that one really hits the spot. The Lucid Lemon, though, is a real winner. Yeah, it's going to stand out at the race start line. There's also the Pure Sulphur Ecodyn-inspired version 2, with extra numbers on the heel. And of course you've still got some of the originals and the silver and reds knocking around in some sizes if you search around. That shoe certainly seems to be a really good seller so far in 2025. I think people are holding back the Earth credits through Christmas, waiting for the January release, and people have gone out and snapped up loads of those. I think it's good as well with all these extra colourways. You know, it's making the shoe available for people. You know, Adidas know people have got money in hand, they want a great new super shoe, and, you know, they can buy these. It's not like, oh, wait, you know, until a new drop comes along. They're just available right now. And I think if people like the shoe, it means that they can perhaps buy another pair. I'm considering getting a second pair. I love my first pair so much. It's a winner at half marathon and marathon effort for me. It's just so easy. Quite an outstanding model. Nike have got another colorway of the Pegasus Premium. It's a shoe that's kind of crept up on me. I really like it for easy days. You know, the super forgiving midsole is just a really attractive option right now. They have this red and black version coming out soon. It does remind me a little bit of a shoe that was a little Nas X kind of collab with Mischief a while ago. I don't know if you remember that. It was like a limited stock shoe. I think, in fact, they got in a bit of trouble and hot water with Nike about that one. The Red Air unit stretches the length of the midsole, and then you've got the softer Zoom X on top, and the very soft heel section, actually, of React X completes what is quite the comfortable combo. Most of the men's sizes have now sold out for the original launch version of the Pegasus Premium. There's a few women's pairs floating around in the smaller sizes. Not sure how plentiful in terms of pairs that release was, but I'm a little bit surprised actually that it's sold out like it has done. It's certainly a bit better than I anticipated when I got it on foot. Now I've got some more significant miles into it. It's not like a race day or pace shoe for me by any stretch, but it's just really forgiving in terms of like daily use, and it doubles as a good sort of walking or lifestyle shoe as well. But like I've said many times before, it's too pricey. If it was about 30 quid cheaper, I think that would make it way more attractive. Last one up today, I really don't need another pair of Alphafly 3s, but if I did, then I might pick up the bright crimson and lime blast version. They're striking and really remind me of a nice exotic cocktail. I personally wish they just do a red and white version, so predominantly red upper with white swoosh. A little bit like those early sort of Vaporflies that we saw. In fact, it would be the early Vaporfly Next Percent, I suppose, that was used by Kipchoge back then. I mean, that was a banger of a colourway. if Nike put out an Alphafly that looked like that, it would sell. You know, red and white shoes, always really, really attractive, right? I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? Okay, a whole load of new releases there, new colorways, all sorts of stuff. February and going on into March is going to be wild. There's so many shoes coming out. Let me know your thoughts on all of the stuff in today's video down in the comments. Quick musical interlude for you. Fantastic album. I think I've been listening to it since it released, you know, back in like the early noughties. Ben Folds Live by Ben Folds. 17 tracks on this one, all just Ben Folds with his piano. It is absolutely sublime. Some of the playing is just out of this world. There's quite a lot of improvisation as well. Ben Folds will switch up some of the tracks, kind of change them, bring the dynamic up, bring it right down again. One of my favourites on here is Philosophy, which he then takes into a bit of a Dick Dale surf style version later on. There's a great version of the track Brick as well, where Ben Folds kind of explains where he's coming from with that track. It's quite an emotive subject, and he's not really coming at it from any particular standing point, just that, you know, he wanted to display the feelings that he had, you know, at the time when that kind of stuff was going on. Absolutely brilliant album. If you've not heard it before, go and search it out. From 2002, Ben Folds Live by Ben Folds. Thanks for tuning in, people. It is always appreciated. Do hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up like too. Drop us a comment as well to help with that YouTube algorithm. Let us know what you think about these new releases. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you